Hey guys, Dracona here. I know there's been an extended hiatus for me and Yanoss to put up content, but we have been kinda busy. But I'm here to correct that as of today, with a look at Ragnarok Online 2, Legend of the Second. Ragnarok Online 2, Legend of the Second was originally titled The Gate of the World. Closed beta testing started in around 2006 and continued through to 2010, but once it hit open beta, it was reworked a great many times due to poor reception from the player base, and the entire project was eventually scrapped. After 3 more years of beta testing, the game was finally released as Ragnarok Online 2 Legend of the Second. I had a chance to play Gate of the World briefly on a half-translated English server, and it was pretty lackluster to say the least, but I mean, the game was probably pre-alpha and I really didn't get a chance to play around with it. It did look stunningly beautiful though, but that was pretty much all it had going for it. Now, I'd talk more about Gate of the World, but sadly I can't get footage for it, but all I can say was the game was kind of a mess all around.
Why are you standing here before me?
Now, I played Legend of the Second for about 20 to 30 hours and I didn't really accomplish much as far as getting a high level character goes. This is really going to be more of a first impressions video looking at one of my favourite game franchises, ever since I was a teenager. The character creation is pretty solid in Row 2, with a lot of options to get your character just the way you want it. They've also removed the entire novice class system, which is nice, because in Row 1 the novice system was kind of like the boring, frustrating part before you actually got to play Row. Now, after you've finished creating your character, you're given a little bit of a backstory based on which race you picked, and once that's finished, you're dropped into the tutorial. Now, the tutorial does a pretty solid job about teaching you everything you need to know before you start your Row 2 adventure, and can be finished in about 15 minutes if you've already played it before. Now, once you've finished the tutorial, that's when you get to jump into the good part of Row 2, right? Just like Row 1. Right? Nope! Now, I was totally entranced by Row 2 for about 15 to 20 minutes until I realised what was going on. I wasn't playing Ragnarok 2, I was playing World of Warcraft. But it was, you know, not a good World of Warcraft. What I was looking forward to when I got Row 2 was the insanely rad and fast-paced combat from Row 1. You know, lots of mobs, AoEs, just, you know, the whole 9 yards. It was a lot different than what you'd expect from Row 1. The combat's kinda boring, and was all about just using my attack abilities in the most efficient way possible. That being said, the combat got boring very fast. Like, before the end of the tutorial fast. The game also seemed to be very quest-driven, with most NPCs having a big old wall of text to tell me exactly why they needed 10 jalapees or some Faber juice. I only made it as far as getting to Frontiera. It didn't really feel like much, although the game did seem to be leading towards having a main storyline following the events surrounding this priestess character. Brief cinematics were usually followed with any event that had you and her in it.
What do you hope to attain with such weakness?
At this point, I feel I've said all I can really say about Row 2, considering my brief time with it. Now, I know that I've probably missed some of the more fun parts of the game, like fighting bosses and MVPs, or even forming big parties, joining guilds, and doing tough dungeons. But I can do all of these things in Row 1, and I probably will. Row 1 is a game that I will continue to revisit every year, or maybe more, just to, you know, scratch that itch I have in an MMO. In closing, I guess my biggest disappointment is that Ragnarok Online 2, Legend of the Second, is not really a Ragnarok game. It's World of Warcraft, and that's not what I wanted from Ragnarok. Anywho, I hope you've enjoyed this in first impressions video of Row 2. Now, if you've got any positive or negative comments, leave them below and tell us what you think, and if you like what you saw, why not subscribe? It really helps the channel grow. Anyway, I hope you can look forward to my next review.